Good time of day, guys. My name is Godzi, and welcome back to another episode of Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 8 Matsuribayashi. Last episode, we completed only 3 more fragments, but they were pretty good ones. We completed a roll of a 1, which was basically everything starting to go wrong for Takano. We completed Disappointment, which was somewhere, yeah, there. Which was more or less Tomatake being nice to her and being like, I need to help her. And we completed Deja Vu, which was insanely well written. And I honestly, like, off the top of my head, that's probably the best written individual scene in Higurashi that I can think of. It's just really fucking cool. There's a lot of other really good written scenes, don't get me wrong, but it's hard to really judge them all on the same basis when some of them are like 3 hours long. This one was 10 minutes. So, yeah, by itself, it's really, really fucking good. Not to say that's my favorite moment in Higurashi, because no. But, yeah, it was still very, very well written, so. Yeah, now, I don't know where the fuck we're continuing. We've completed 33 of the 50 fragments. As far as I can tell, we cannot do that one. We cannot do that one. Page 3 is done. We cannot do that one. We cannot do that one. Although, I think we do have the forgiveness of Rena's sins, but we don't have the awareness of Satoshi's sins. I'm mostly sure. We cannot do this one because we don't have the 4th year's curse. We do not have this one because we don't have Satoshi's awareness of his sins. We cannot do this one because we haven't seen Keiichi's dad at all. We can't do this one because Keiichi has not changed schools. We can't do this one because I'm assuming the big teddy bear has to do with Satoshi. And then the rest is so on and so fucking forth. So, we're just gonna fucking guess. Footsteps in the 4th year? Wow, actually? Okay. Sure. Footsteps in the 4th year, which I guess that means then we have Satoshi's awareness of his sins somehow. I'm just gonna write that. Satoshi's sins, question mark. My harsh and brutal days are still continuing without end. The situation between my aunt and Satoko remains the same. My aunt yells at Satoko for no reason every night. Although Satoko cries, she still talks back to her. So my aunt's yelling goes on and on forever. Satoko's crying goes on and on, too. When Satoko sees me, she grabs onto me. She hides behind my back and tries to ignore my aunt's yelling. She always comes to seek my help. Satoko doesn't open up to anyone but me. So if I don't protect her, she'll be devastated. That security is something our parents didn't grant to Satoko. I have to be the one to provide it. But every day, day after day, every time Satoko cries, every day, day after day, Satoko grabbed onto me while crying yesterday. I patted her head, but along with pity, a different emotion came to me. I wanted to grasp her head and smash her against the wall. Okay. What an unbelievably devilish and awful emotion. No, no, no. I can't think that. No, it's not that I can't think it. I just can't acknowledge that feeling. Since that day, there has been someone else inside of me. That someone is trying to eat me up from the inside and switch places with me. When Satoko begs for my help while crying, that person tries to make me spill out some awful and hateful words that are sure to damage Satoko forever. Leave me alone. Don't grab onto me. Go away. No, 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 no. I can't. To prevent him from taking over my body, I clenched my stomach and drove him out. I managed to do that. But that wasn't it. That person is coming after me, trying to get back inside of me. So this is how the footsteps work for him, I see. I won't let such a scary thing get back inside of me. He knows there's no room to slip into my heart as long as I keep it held shut like this. So, he stopped trying, and instead is following right behind me. He's waiting for me to let my guard down. You see, though, does Hanyu know that she's making people go crazier? Like, does she know she's doing this? Because, what the hell? When I walk, he walks right behind me. He's breathing down my neck. He follows me everywhere, and when I lie down, he stares down at me. He's waiting for the right moment to jump back inside of me so he can hurt Satoko. It's been so hot lately. Maybe the heat is getting to me, and that's why I think things like this. I'm the only family Satoko has, so I'll have to protect her from my aunt for the rest of my life. That's my eternal duty. The rest of my life? Forever? Do I really have to do that forever? If only Satoko. But I'm her only family. But it's because of my aunt. But it's because of the villagers, too. It's almost Watanagashi. Some irresponsible people are saying that the curse will once again fall upon Hinamizawa. They're also saying it'll fall upon me and Satoko for sure. Maybe it's just my imagination. But lately, the villagers expecting it are giving me especially sharp looks. Oh wait, this is the Goosebumps song. Been a while, R.L. Stein. How you been? I feel like I'll be killed on the day of Watanagashi. Of course, there is no reason why I would be killed, and it's just my imagination. Ah, pat, 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 pat. Don't come inside of me. Satoko is my only sister and my family, so don't tell me those awful things. Pat, 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 pat. Stop, stop. Don't come this way. Don't come this way! The footsteps came up right behind me, and a hand touched me on the shoulder. The music's actually in sync. Oh. Ah! Oh, Rena.
Are you okay? Are you?
I must have been acting weird. Rena looked worried. Her name is Rena Ryugu. She just moved here and transferred to my school. Nobody remembers her, but supposedly she lived here in Hinamizawa a long time ago. In fact, she hardly remembers anything about Hinamizawa either. Since Mion is the only other classmate who's my age, I'm glad she's my friend. She usually carries on happily alongside Mion, but occasionally she shows more feminine consideration.
Are you feeling okay? Do you want me to take you to the nurse's office, even though it's, I think, right next to us? Do you?
Thank you. I'm okay. Do I look sick or something?
Yep.
Her immediate answer made me realize I wasn't myself.
Is it about Satoko-chan? Are you worried?
No, that isn't it. She knows that my problem isn't physical, but a mental one. This is just something I think to myself. But even though Rena seems like a very easygoing person, maybe she's more perceptive than she appears.
Since I just transferred here recently, I may not be able to help much. But I can at least listen. Sometimes talking can help.
Although she just transferred, she already knows quite a bit about me and my sister, and also about the situation with the villagers. But talking about it won't solve anything. Actually, if I talk about it, I feel like I'd be admitting to my own weakness, which might give that person a chance to get inside of me again.
You were so surprised just now. That's why I thought something really serious was bothering you.
Oh, that... lately, I feel like someone is following me all the time. Pit, pat, pit, pat. I thought that was you. Sorry. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore.
Footsteps? Following you?
Eh? Oh boy.
I know those. I know those footsteps.
Oh, okay. Honestly, it kind of feels like these fragments might have been like, a lot of them are chronological, without a fucking doubt. But it seems like Ryukishi forced himself to make it this little game so he could condense his writing down? I don't know, maybe he felt like he wrote too much, so he was just like, how do I get this all downward? How do I grind this all down a bit? But yeah, because it feels like if that wasn't just in the fragments, I feel like he would have made that longer. Like, I feel like that could have been like a whole 20-minute conversation between Rena and Satoshi, which would have been fine, but yeah. I don't know much of the trivia of how he wrote some of these chapters, other than, like, Himatsubushi I don't think was technically supposed to exist at first. And exists in the VN for the same reason that Yakusamashi, I think it's called, exists in the anime. So, yeah. But yeah, that was very clearly footsteps following Satoshi. So we'll just write that. Footsteps following Satoshi. We definitely don't have his part-time job, that's for sure. Bad to beat her to death, obviously not, and she's not dead, because that's what's gonna happen here, more than likely. So we don't have his part-time job, so we can't do this. But, I mean, if we were able to do that one, we should be able to do formation of a club. So let's do that. Formation of a club. I didn't even save, but oh well. Formation of a club. School is the children's world. The values of grown-ups don't apply. Children decide their own values and create their own world. So the rules of the grown-up world, of the village, don't mean anything here. Even when the villagers badmouth the Hojo family and try to isolate them, that has no meaning at our school. In the children's world, children decide the rules. Rules they think are irrational don't exist here. That's why, as a representative for the children here, I vow that I will never let any irrational rules come into our world. So we're in Mion's perspective. I think this is the first time we ever have been, huh? Within the school, no harassment is allowed towards the Hojo siblings. In the very beginning, some boys teased Satoko, but they were punished severely, and it hasn't happened ever since. That's the least I can do to resist the madness of the village. So I hope Satoshi and Satoko both feel that the school is a safe place for them. Satoshi must notice my concern, because he often smiles when he's here. However, I never see Satoko smile. Satoko's classmates used to try to cheer her up, but soon after, they decided that it was best to just leave her alone. I used to try to talk to her, but when I realized something, I stopped doing that. I'm a member of the Sonozaki family, yeah, so Mion. To Satoko, I'm one of her enemies, so I'm sure she feels uncomfortable to have me around her. All I can do is to watch over her. That's why Satoko is alone in the classroom. That said, Rika-chan is always hanging around with her, even though Satoko told her she was annoying. Satoshi, too, is always beside her. These two are the only ones who remain by her side. It isn't limited to Satoko, of course. The malicious isolation is still continuing towards the Hojo family. Because their hysterical aunt is so hostile towards her neighbors, there's nobody who sympathizes with her. It's wise to know there are fights worth picking and also fights better set aside. If the aunt had even a little tolerance or self-control, this isolation wouldn't have continued. Of course, the villagers were the ones who forced them into that role, even though they weren't related to the issue. But if she had stayed quiet, then it wouldn't have gone so far. The aunt's hostility is one thing, but she's dragging everyone in the family into it as well. The uncle and the aunt haven't been getting along, and he hardly comes home. Both Satoshi and Satoko are forced to live in shame. The aunt vents her stress by harassing Satoko. This was the same too. The aunt is her guardian after all, but Satoko doesn't even try to hide her disgust, so things aren't going smoothly between them. If she had behaved like Satoshi, then she wouldn't have been made into a target. So does that mean the sad life Satoko is living right now is something she caused herself? No, it doesn't. But no matter how much I sympathize, and how much I want to help her, nobody knows what to do. An apology won't change the situation. The flow can't be reversed. The fact that the Hojo family is ostracized by the entire village can't be changed. That's the horribleness lurking underneath our lives. Is horribleness even a word? Whatever, I'll throw you a bone. The neighbors, the village, and the community. Once they become your enemies, the world can become so cruel. Japanese people have known that since ancient times, which is why we cultivated empathy and an obligation to show courtesy to one's neighbors. No matter who I blame, Satoko won't smile. So the only thing I can do is to watch over her and make sure that she's safe when she's at school. Thank you, Mion. Huh? Sorry, what? I just want to thank you for being so concerned about Satoko. Satoshi kind of appears absent-minded, but sometimes he says things as if he can read your thoughts. I tried to deny it since it's out of character for me, but he smiled as if he could tell exactly what I was thinking. Satoko's just forgotten how to smile. When she's at school, she can let go of a little tension for a while. I'm sure she treasures that time. That's basically the only thing this old man can do for her. That's not true. I really appreciate it. Stop that. You don't need to say that. Besides, my family is the one who's causing all this grief. I don't think that way. I really don't. I'm not good at reading people's subtle cues, but I know for sure what he just said is a lie. Satoshi knows that he and his family are being isolated because of the Sonozakis. And he's, of course, aware that I'm a member of the Sonozaki family too. Satoshi is mature, and that's the only reason he doesn't take it out on me. If he had the same temper as his aunt, he would hate me bitterly. Knowing that, the least I can do is not get close to them. But I'm a meddlesome person. And when I see Satoko looking depressed or Satoshi forcing himself to smile, I have to do something. That might be even more troublesome to Satoshi and Satoko, though. Maybe I just don't understand Satoko's feelings. Why? My family is causing Satoko grief. So for me, a member of that family to hang around her, is that the right thing to do? Sure. That's you being you. What do you mean by that? Are you saying I'm insensitive? I don't mean that. If this atmosphere itself is robbing Satoko of her smile, then only someone who can completely ignore it can bring her smile back. This old man can't tell if you're trying to compliment him or not. You're mean. I'm not ridiculing you, really. I just want you to help. Huh? I can't make Satoko smile again by myself. I need someone like you to help me. But I'm Mio and Sonozaki, you know? If I do something insensitive, I might end up hurting Satoko even more. Satoko is already lonely. Are you going to leave her alone too? This is the first time Satoshi has asked me for something so aggressively. Satoko is a very important person to him. He's saying he needs my help to make her smile again. But still, no. Maybe he's right. What's going on between the Sonozaki family and the Hojo family is an issue among the grown-ups. We children don't need to care about that. The irrational rules of the grown-ups don't mean anything in our world. So I have to object to the irrationality of the grown-up world using methods of my own. Are you sure Satoko won't feel bothered by me? She may at first, but I'll be with you. I'll be with you, Mion. so she'll open up right away. You think so? Should we do something after school today? If we go home first, our aunt might say something, and we might not be able to leave. Okay, then it's simple. Don't go home first. But if we get home too late, she'll ask us what we were doing. Let's see. I know! Why don't you join a club? A club? Yeah. Tell her you're going to an after-school club. Tell her that you're doing something after school before going home. There are plenty of people who go out after school before they go home. That'll be no problem. But if we mess up our clothes, our aunt will say, okay, then we'll do something indoors. Then your clothes will stay clean. Indoors? Do you mean in the classroom? But wouldn't Ch.8 say something? It's possible to play passionately while not going wild indoors. Contrary to my appearance, I love playing games. I've collected some treasures from overseas, too. Some of the manuals are written in English and are a little complicated, while with some of them I need someone to play with, so a lot of them are just sitting in the storage room. Do you think Satoko can play those too? Sure! If you don't know the rules, then you just make them up. As long as everyone is following the same rules, it's totally okay. I said it so confidently, but would bringing games from home and asking Satoko to play with us actually make her smile again? What have I got to lose? Maybe I'll bring one of the board games tomorrow. Oh, also, Mion, I have something else I want to ask you. What? This old man is all ears. I'm looking for a part-time job. I thought if I could get her a nice birthday present, that might make her feel better. Oh, wow. Just throw that in at the end so you can fit the part-time job in there. Alright, part-time job. I wrote part-time job first, so of Satoshi's, I guess. Alright, so that means we should be able to do a notice of leave of absence next. But first, we're gonna save. We're moving on to fragment number 36. Hell yeah. We're making good progress this episode. We're only 20 minutes in and we've already completed almost as much as we did last episode. So here we go, a notice of leave of absence. A notice of leave of absence. How do you spell absence? I think that's right. A-B-S-E-N-C-E. If it's not right, then whatever. I see. No, you don't need to do that. You're a promising member of the Hinamizawa fighters. We'll save your spot. So you can come back anytime, okay? I don't know about that, though. I have no idea when I can come back, so I thought I should resign at least for now. Satoshi-kun says he wants to quit the Hinamizawa fighters. I know very well of Satoshi-kun and Satoko-chan's situation, so I was expecting that he might say this. The relationship between Satoko-chan and her aunt has gotten worse, to the point that it can be considered abuse. When someone from the Child Consultation Center came, of course, her aunt behaved herself. Then immediately after, her harassment turned even more vicious. According to the neighbors, the aunt's scolding and Satoko-chan's crying can be heard nightly, and sometimes it goes on past midnight. Satoko-chan's weekly physical checkup results are slowly growing worse, and we're trying to keep her stable by increasing her medication. But unless her relationship with her aunt improves, she's sure to go terminal and sink into madness. Although she isn't the type to become deranged, even at the terminal stage. She's the type who holds everything in, harboring her insanity inside. Just like she pushed her parents off the cliff 2 years ago, Satoko-chan may kill her aunt. Thanks to the mountain dogs, the incident was resolved as an accident and Oishi stepped aside, although he is still suspicious. If something like that happens again around Satoko-chan, he's sure to investigate her mercilessly. I can't do anything more about Satoko-chan's environment changing for worse. So I'm not surprised to hear that Satoshi-kun wants to quit the baseball team so he can be with his sister more. Actually, I'm starting a part-time job. That's why I can't come to practice. A part-time job? Is there something you want to buy? Yes. It's almost Satoko's birthday. There's a teddy bear Satoko has been looking at, and I want to get it for her. That's right. I remember the birth date on her insurance card. I think it's June 24th. Right after the Watanagashi festival. I see. You're such a good brother. I'm sure Satoko-chan will be thrilled. I hope so. I can tell Satoshi-kun is also stressed out. To him, seeing Satoko-chan being harassed is the same thing as being harassed himself. His stress can be released through moderate exercise, such as with sports, and also with plenty of rest. If Satoko-chan is being yelled at nightly, then it's easy to figure out that Satoshi-kun isn't getting enough sleep either. I don't know what kind of job he's starting, but I don't think he'll be able to vent his stress on it. In fact, I don't like the idea of Satoshi-kun taking a part-time job, because he's already so worn out in every way. I asked him if he wanted me to help him pay for the present, but of course he declined the offer. It's a present from him, so he wants to earn the money himself. He's taking this part-time job only to earn enough money to buy Satoko-chan's present, so it'll be a temporary thing. If it's for a short period of time, maybe it won't be that bad. Well, I want to stop him from working because I don't want him to get even more stressed. Since he says Satoko-chan's birthday is near, I don't think I can stop him. Satoshi-kun is determined. If I say any more, I may lose his trust. So I'll have to accept his leave of absence. Oh, Coach? Can I maybe borrow a bat? This is where you get the bat? I mean, yeah, wouldn't it be in your locker already? Would it be? You had to have gotten it from somewhere. I completely misunderstood his words. Later, I found out he carried around that bat to protect himself, and realized that, even then, he was already showing some dangerous symptoms. He believed there would be a fourth mysterious death this year, and that he would be the victim. He became obsessed with the idea that someone was after his life. That is a symptom of Hinamizawa syndrome's terminal stage. But although I was involved so deeply with the syndrome, I was careless. A bat? What do you need a bat for? Satoshi-kun had his own bat, so he should have asked if he could take it home. But instead, he asked if he could borrow it. When I think about it now, he said it that way to lighten his guilty conscience. But how could I have known then? Well, although I can't come to practice, I think I'll have a little time to practice swinging on my own. That's great. Sure, please take it with you. But make sure you do it in an open space, okay? If it won't bother your neighbors, it's good practice to hit a hanging tire. Swinging a bat can release stress. Yep, I figured this would be where you go with it. So letting him take his bat home will help. That's what I thought. But that was a huge mistake. I realized it only when things were already past the point of no return. Alright. All caps. Bat! There we go. Okay. Page 4 is done. Yay, so 3 and 4 are done. And we're about to do this, which means we're about to do that. So the first 4 pages will be done, which means then we'll be able to do this. So it's pretty fucking obvious from there, right? Right? The order's pretty simple at this point. Or at least it seems like it. Alright, save and load. Alrighty, number 37. Death of Satoshi's aunt. Yep. Death of Satoshi's aunt. We were prepared to respond quickly this year. That was why we were able to start the investigation immediately by securing the crime scene. Are we in Oishi's perspective? I'd imagine, right? The victim is the wife of the younger brother of the Hojo couple. So she's an extremely suitable target for the 4th year's curse of Oyashiro-sama. She has a horrible reputation among the locals. After the incident, everyone said she deserved to be cursed. I have a general idea of who the culprit must be. It's probably Satoshi Hojo, that innocent-looking kid. There's even a motive. The deceased abused his sister relentlessly, so this would be in revenge for that. Also, when he attended the inspection of the crime scene, he was rather frantic, yet also far too composed, as if he was totally unrelated to the incident. My intuition from many years of police work tells me that 8 or 9 times out of 10, someone who acts like that is the perp. I have no concrete proof, but if I question him and shake him up a bit, I have a feeling he'll confess. For the victim to be so beaten up, the culprit must have some blood on him as well. If we can find that, then we'll have proof. Unless he's a complete fool, I'm sure he's already gotten rid of it by now. If we can find any in the place he says he disposed it in after he fesses up, then we can convince the prosecutor too. This was pretty insignificant as a standalone case. A confession from Satoshi Hojo would end it. Everyone except me must believe that. But if I look at it as a part of the series of mysterious deaths, it won't be so easy. Either the 3 families of the village, or the Sonozaki family alone, is directly involved in this. If they are the ones pulling the strings, they must have instigated Satoshi Hojo into committing this crime. If so, Satoshi Hojo is someone who knows way too much about them. The Sonozaki family's actions must remain hidden. If he could connect them to the crime, would they let him run around freely? Satoshi Hojo is a loving brother who cares very much for his sister, and they set him up to kill his aunt as the 4th year's curse. After that, they will eliminate the one person who can connect them to the crime. Satoshi Hojo is not just a simple criminal. He was set up. And after that, my suspicions were confirmed, for he abruptly vanished. He disappeared in such a puzzling way. He didn't run because he was afraid that his crime had come to light. Another culprit came into the picture. He was already arrested for a different crime, and furthermore, he died while in prison. He confessed to information only the culprit himself would have known. Therefore, he must be the culprit. But as he's already dead, the investigation was closed. Then Satoshi Hojo disappeared a few days after the festival. It's obvious someone doesn't want Satoshi Hojo to be connected to this incident. My boss put pressure on me to close the investigation and to file Satoshi Hojo's disappearance as a separate incident. He even handed the case over to a different section. The way this case is closing so rapidly greatly resembles the same trick used 2 years ago with the Hojo couple's accident. There's no doubt it's the work of someone who can put pressure on the police. As it happens, the Sonozaki family is the only one who can actually exact influence on the police department here in the Hinamizawa area. They may think their trails are covered, but this points towards them more clearly than anything. According to my informant, Oryo Sonozaki mentioned the 4th year's curse at the family meeting and hinted that she was the one behind it all. Hinting isn't strong enough evidence, but there is no mistaking that Oryo Sonozaki is the one pulling the strings. I know they're the ones who did in the old man, but I just can't grab them. The principal offender is still on the loose, but I'm sure he's being sheltered somewhere by the Sonozaki family. I have to locate him and find that missing right arm. I'll return the arm to his grave, and make the principal offender and the masterminds both bow down before it. However, just like how Satoshi Hojo disappeared, it's possible the principal offender has already been eliminated. I bet he's already been killed and buried somewhere nobody can find. If that's the case, then that's fine. I'll make the old bag who ordered someone to kill the old man slam her forehead on the ground before his grave. This I swear. After the 4th year's curse, people are already saying something will happen again next year. Even with all my preparations, I couldn't prevent the incident from happening this time. It's too late if something happens. I must keep my eyes on the core of the village before something takes place. There's a reason why I have to get to the bottom of this by next year. Because I'm retiring. My mother has been wanting to go back to her hometown in Hokkaido. And for a long time, she's been asking me to move there when I retire. I feel that's the least I can do for her. So I agreed to move to Hokkaido when I retire. So next year is my last chance to avenge the old man's death. It happened 4 years in a row. So more than likely, there will be a 5th curse too. As a result of the series of mysterious deaths, the village has been tightly knit together since the dam protests. They were told that betrayers will be punished in the name of the curse. To the masterminds, that's enough reason to continue with the series of mysterious deaths. According to rumors, this year's victim, the ant, was cursed because she didn't participate in the Watanagashi festival. So there are villagers who believe that if they don't participate in next year's Watanagashi, they'll be cursed. It'll be a huge festival next year for sure. Something will happen. The series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa, also known as the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. I will avenge the old man. I definitely will. Alrighty. Wow, we have some really fucking short fragments this episode. We're not even at 40 minutes and we're 4 in. Alright, well, I wonder what death of Satoshi's aunt was supposed to be. Probably, the death of, Satoko's aunt. Well, I guess, it's a fucking logic puzzle. Satoshi's aunt died. But does that mean Satoko's aunt died? Yes. Okay, so. Satoko's aunt. RIP. Let's save. Just in case, for some reason, the logic puzzle is that apparently Satoshi and Satoko are not actually siblings and they're cousins, and Satoko is actually the real daughter of the aunt. No. Okay, 38, the 4th sacrifice. Sacrifice hyphen. The village was in an uproar because the 4th mysterious death in a row, which everyone believed would happen, actually did. Satoko-chan's aunt was killed. All the villagers feel rather satisfied about this incident, saying the curse finally fell on her for being a local troublemaker. But I know the truth. When I saw the beaten up body at the crime scene, I knew Satoshi-kun was responsible for it. Her abuse towards Satoko-chan was getting worse and worse. Satoshi-kun wanted to protect her. So he brought home a baseball bat. All the signs were there, so I didn't even need to hear it from Satoshi-kun. Yet I couldn't avoid questioning myself. I felt bad for the Hojo siblings who had no one on their side, so I tried to be their ally. In the end, I failed to be any help to them. The phone rang. It was Satoshi-kun. He's never called me before. What happened? Does he want me to help him? If so, I will. I truly feel that way. Hello, Coach? Sorry to bother you while you're at work. Oh, don't worry. What can I do for you? I can't think of anyone else who has a car. A car? Sure, I have one. I'm in front of a toy store in Okinomiya. Not the one owned by Mion's uncle, but the other one by the dentist's office. Sure, I know where it is. I found a teddy bear for Satoko's birthday, but it's too big to put on my bicycle. Too big? Satoshi-kun, how big is this teddy bear? I guess he didn't think about it and went to the toy store on his bicycle. Now he's stuck. That's so typical of him. I can't help but smile warmly. In other words, he can't carry both the bicycle and the teddy bear, so he wants me to come pick him up. I told him I'd be right over and headed to the toy store in Okinomiya. When I got there, I found that the teddy bear he bought is a lot bigger than I imagined. Oh my. This is huge. There's no way you can put this on your bicycle, huh? The teddy bear is so big that Satoshi-kun can hardly wrap his arms around it. If he puts it on his lap in the passenger seat, he won't be able to see anything. We loaded the bicycle in the back seat and stuffed the teddy bear in the trunk. Boy, it must have been expensive. Yeah, I guess. At first I thought he was sweating because of the heat, but he's acting oddly. If he has a high fever and his consciousness is coming and going. Oh, as if, yeah. What's wrong? Are you feeling okay? I guess. Well, I think I have a cold. That's not good. Do you want to swing by the clinic? I'll give you a checkup. Thank you. When he called earlier, he didn't sound this way. Did he become ill all of a sudden? Why don't you put the seat back? Is it too cold? Are you okay? His face is turning pale. I can tell he has a high fever. Satoshi-kun was pushing himself to buy this teddy bear. A teddy bear this size can't be that cheap. For him to earn enough money in such a short period of time, he must have worked hard and long hours. Maybe he felt relieved now that he got the teddy bear he had wanted to buy. It's not unusual for a person to collapse after reaching his big goal. I'm proud of you for earning enough money to buy such a huge teddy bear. Satoko-chan will be so happy. I hope so. I'm sure she will be. I guarantee it. Our aunt is gone. Our uncle isn't coming back. There's nobody who can hurt her in any way anymore. Right? That's right. There won't be anyone who can hurt her. So you can relax now. Our aunt is gone. Right? She died, right? Yes, she is dead. I performed the autopsy. There can be no mistake. She'll never abuse Satoko-chan again. Are you sure? Did you really confirm that she's dead? Yes, I sure did. So, even if I see someone who looks just like her, it's not her, right? It's not like she was actually alive and recovered, right? No, that's not possible. She'll never come back to us. Then, look, that lady. She looks like her, but that's not my aunt, right? Right? Satoshi-kun pointed at the oncoming car in fear. Of course, the car passed by so quickly that I couldn't see her face. But no matter how much she looks like her, it's impossible for her to be alive. Look at her! She looks exactly like her! She even looked at me! Calm down, Satoshi-kun. Your aunt is dead. So no matter how much she looks like her, it's not your aunt. But she looks just like her. Look! Oh, it must be her. That's my aunt. I killed her. I bashed her head in. Repeatedly. Why? I can only try to stay calm and drive. Satoshi-kun is losing his cool. He's delusional. He's seeing his aunt coming back from the dead. Then I finally realize Satoshi-kun is displaying symptoms of the terminal stage. I need to examine him once I get to the clinic. It's different from Satoko-chan's case. We already have the cure. We can treat Satoshi-kun. If I talk to the mountain dogs, they'll take care of the murder of his aunt. So I can both save him from going terminal and give him back his peaceful days with Satoko-chan. He was deranged until just a minute ago, but now he's gone quiet. He didn't fall asleep. I must get to the clinic while Satoshi-kun remains in this calm state. There's no guarantee that he won't attack me while I'm driving. As if he knows what is going through my mind, Satoshi-kun spoke to me quietly. Coach, is this the curse of Oyashiro-sama? There is no curse. Please, try to stay focused. Satoko, sorry. Till just before I bought the teddy bear, I was thinking about running away. That's why Oyashiro-sama got angry. I'm a failure as a big brother. I'm... You don't need to say anything. Close your eyes and get some rest. We'll get to the clinic soon. Then I'll give you some medicine, okay? I feel like there are maggots in my blood. It itches. Don't scratch! Don't claw at your throat! We arrived at the back door to the clinic. I slammed the brakes and stopped the car. Satoshi-kun has already started to claw at his throat. I can't stop him by myself. I asked for some help through the intercom. Some staff members came out immediately. Maybe Satoshi-kun was surprised to see so many people at once, because he started to resist. I don't even need to run tests, he's at L5. He's reached the terminal stage, and his thoughts must be filled with delusions. Maybe he thinks that the staff members want to kill him. The staff members pinned his arms and legs down and gave him a shot to put him to sleep. Coach, please, help me! Don't worry, I'll make you better, so please relax. Coach, please, take care of Satoko. Please take care of Satoko. After saying those words, he fell unconscious. My. What's going on? Satoshi-kun suddenly displayed symptoms. Considering the amount of stress he's been under, it was just a matter of time. Or maybe he was holding it back until he bought the teddy bear. It's interesting that somehow we always find a live specimen around Watanagashi. Do you think it's the curse of Oyashiro-sama? I don't have time to listen to her nonsense. Okay. Very good, very nice. We've completed 5 fragments this episode so far. I definitely have time for at least one more, that's for sure. So, that one was very obviously the 4th year's curse. Which means, we should be able to do preview of lots for sale. But then there was also, obviously, the teddy bear. Big teddy bear. So we can also do an invitation to an end. But I don't know. Since it's on page 6, I think I'll save it. Because I should be able to do this, which is definitely going to be Keiichi's dad, Ichiro Maebara, inspecting a vacant lot. So, yeah. First 4 pages are finally done. And now, it is time for fragment number 39. Preview of lots for sale. Preview of lots for sale. This is gonna be a fucking weird one, because we're playing the fucking, baby playing with blocks music. I don't know what to do. My name is Ichiro Maebara, and I am hopelessly lost. I came to Hinamizawa on a tour to find a lot for a vacation home. When the realtor finished explaining some details, he told us to take a walk until the departure time. Such beautiful scenery and fresh air. I let my senses guide me, and here I am. Where am I? I still have a little time before the departure, but I am completely lost. This is basically the middle of nowhere, but people actually do live here. If I keep walking, I should run into somebody. Then I can ask for directions. Don't worry. The only thing I need to keep in mind is the departure time for the bullet train. But the more time passes, the more I start to think I was being too optimistic about running into somebody. Because I can't find anybody at all. Maybe I'm walking farther and farther away from where people are, in which case I'm in serious trouble. So upon hearing someone's voice, I feel immensely relieved. Sounds like little girls are playing nearby. If it's a place where little kids can play, it must be a safe village. I followed those voices. Oh, this is a new background, okay. Upon rounding the wild pampas grass, okay, I can see a beautiful field. 2 girls are playing there. They're dancing in the field filled with blooming wildflowers. What I'm seeing is more beautiful than all of the great works of art I've ever seen put together. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but this looks holier than any religious painting. Why is it that seeing innocent girls dance around like this makes people feel this way? It's probably because we're sinners. You can't live with pleasure and glory alone. We sin even as we live. That's why we feel awed by the sight of innocence. It reminds us of the time when we were pure. We grow up naturally, and we lose innocence as we do. And we admire and adore the children who symbolize that which we've lost.
Meep. There's a suspicious person who's mumbling some weird stuff over there. Hello. Rika, that's not a suspicious person.
Eh? Sorry. I'm not suspicious.
But you've been staring at my chest and legs. Nipa.
No, I'm not. Don't turn me in. I really wasn't staring. I was using this mirror to fix my hair.
I don't know what you're talking about, but it sure sounds interesting. Like father, like son.
The girls teased me for a while, and when they got tired of doing that, they went back to dancing around. Realizing that whatever I said would backfire, I decided to leave them alone and sat down to watch them play. I wonder how old they are. They seem rather young, but maybe they could be close to Keiichi's age. If we move here, Keiichi might meet them at school. If he would see them at school, then they were girls that lived here. If all the children in Hinamizawa are like them, then even if living a rural life may have some challenges, there's a good reason for us to move here. We're not very good parents. We didn't understand what Keiichi was going through, and left him alone until the very end. According to the parenting book I bought, the first few problems are calls for help. It doesn't matter what the action itself is, but the fact that those actions are occurring is a primitive appeal from the child seeking communication. Humans can speak, and that's one of the reasons why we don't notice such signs. We can only hear words through our ears, and we can't sense the signs coming from our son's heart. Keiichi probably thinks it's all his fault. Of course, he's not absent of blame. Humans aren't dogs or cats. We should know what's right and what's wrong. But it's our fault too, as his parents. To let him think that he had to go that far for us to be able to understand him is really pathetic and disappointing of us. If we had understood him and hadn't cornered him, Keiichi wouldn't have done that. So the incidents weren't only Keiichi's fault. Everyone in the Mayabara family was to blame. I want to explain that to him, but he's still too young and hot-headed to be able to understand. Right now, the guilt he's feeling is basically crushing him under its weight. He doesn't even have the will to live. My wife is the same. She's blaming herself for forcing him to study for better grades. She thinks that's why the incidents took place. And I'm no different. I'm blaming myself for not being involved in my son's education. I think that's why the incidents took place. The cross will be forever on our shoulders, even after the injured child accepts our apologies. Yet our cold society would tell us to die under the weight of that cross. Even so, we have to live. We have to accept our sins and carry our burdens on our shoulders. Maybe we can start a new life here in this village. I thought about all that as I watched the girls dance. Keiichi needs friends like them. Friends like those girls will offer him so much more than the friends who only talked about cram schools and exam results. The girls are playing near a sign that doesn't fit into this open field. It's a sign about lots for sale, and the name of the realtor who brought me here for the tour is written on it. Does that mean we can live even in this beautiful area if we want to? One of the girls spoke as if reading my mind.
This is a wonderful village. You'll find lots of things you don't have in a big city.
Yeah, that's right. I think so too.
But I think you'll bring some things from the city to this village that we don't have.
Do we have anything?
Sure you do. Ow, ow. We've lived in this village for hundreds of years just like this. Nobody comes to visit, and nothing happens. And so, nothing ever changes.
Isn't that what's good about this place?
Didn't you come here because you wanted to change something?
Yeah, you're right about that.
We want new people to come here too. It's like breaking the dam that keeps the swamp water from flowing out. Water is purified by moving. If it stays motionless, then it's just a swamp. In fact, this village used to be named after a swamp up until the Meiji era. But the name was changed to Hinamizawa. The water in a swamp stagnates because it doesn't flow. But the water in a stream stays fresh. Besides, you all are the ones who will teach us that. That dams can be broken, should be broken.
Wait, that dams that can be broken should be broken? Sure. Are they playing riddles with me? I have no idea what they're trying to say. But there's one thing I know. The villagers are waiting for new people to come here, and they want to build a future with those newcomers. I looked at the sign behind the girls one more time, so that I'd remember this place. I've already decided.
We'll be waiting for you to move here, Mayabara.
Oh, there you are! Sir! How did you get this far out? A raspy voice from the distance ended this innocent moment. It's the realtor. I guess he's been looking for me because I didn't return. Sorry about that, I got lost. I apologized while scratching my head. I turned around to look for the girls, but they weren't there anymore. Okay. So, no explanation for why he can see Hanyu, huh? Cool. That probably gets explained later on, I guess. But that's something that has always kind of confused me, because obviously I saw Hanyu in this, and I knew that that's what this one was about. It was about Keiichi's dad looking at the lots, seeing them playing. But yeah, that one was very clearly Ichiro looking at lots. Sure. So we only have one more on page 5, which we will be able to do next episode. Keiichi Maebara. And then we'll also definitely be able to do this one. And I guess we do have Takano's Revenge somewhere. There's been several points where I've thought about it. I don't know where the actual point was, but we definitely have it by now, since I don't think she'll show up here, and I don't think she'll show up here. I'd imagine it was when she called to have the Furudes assassinated. That's her revenge, but whatever. We'll definitely get Keiichi changing schools, and then the game board should be set up, because all we'll have left are these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 fragments. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode then, guys. If you liked it, then be sure to press the like button, and if you didn't like it, then fuck you too. Remember to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all my videos and stuff. And as always, my name is Godzi, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.